I hope you guys appreciate I wore my tuxedo t-shirt for this first real class video. So you see this is a very nice t-shirt. Anyways, this is the web page. I'm still setting it up. So you're going to see this sort of populate as we go along. But this first page will be pretty standard. If there's something important, I will post it on this home page. You'll also notice on the right-hand side, I hope you can see this mouse over here, there's a list of to-dos. So there's the welcome, you have to look at that. And I think most of you have already seen that. Once you've seen it, it's really not a graded thing. It's just an announcement. You can check it off and it'll go away. Um, so for example, I can do that and it'll go away. Okay, so now the thing I want you to do then is there's a syllabus, and so I was going to take you through the syllabus very quickly. There's a lot of material in the syllabus, but there's a couple important points I want to hit. There's your first assignment. It's the introductions discussion, and so I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself. I can't really show you that because it doesn't open up till tomorrow because I couldn't make it available before the class started, because it's a graded assignment. And then again, there's the welcome page. So let's go ahead and look at the syllabus really quickly. So this syllabus can also be accessed on the left-hand side. And by the way, this weird frame that's around my screen, that's because I'm doing student view. There's course information, the class times. It's online. We'll talk about attendance here in a little bit. This is the required book. And I know that some of you probably were going to get to getting the book this week, and that's kind of okay. I think you'll be able to be all right with that. But again, I did post in that welcome, I posted links to the cheapest possible copy of the physical textbook that you can get. It's cheaper than renting it online, and you can sell it when you're done. So anyways, the faculty information, this is my name. Office hours are going to be through Zoom. I will not be in my office very much at all this summer, so I'm not even putting my number there, but I'm giving you my cell phone number, and you can just text me at that number if you have questions. And basically, I answer it any time of day. It could be 3 in the morning. With all this social isolation stuff, the hours are crazy. Use the Canvas email system if you can. And office hours will be as arranged. So you could text me and say, hey, can we meet? And then if there turns out to be like a regular time, you guys want to have a study session, you're welcome to do Zoom meetings and invite me and things like that. I do have a statement on academic dishonesty. Basically says I'll kick you out. We're going to lower your grade. So you can take a look at that when you have time. If you have a learning accommodation, just let me know. I have to get a physical copy or an email from DSPS in order to institute accommodations for exam. Attendance. So this is interesting. It's an online class, and so basically I'm going to monitor what you turn in. If you don't turn stuff in, I'm just going to assume you're not coming. I'll also be looking at your page views. There's analytics for this for Canvas, and so I could actually see like if you're coming in and looking at the web pages and stuff. So before I drop somebody, I'll often check that kind of thing. If you don't take exam one, or if you don't turn in 75% of the assignments by midterm, I'll probably drop you. Also, the first homework assignment needs to be, there's a due date, which is not the 29th. It's actually, I believe, Wednesday. But if you don't turn it in by Friday and you're not doing anything else, I'm just assuming you're not showing and I'll drop you. Otherwise, there's only very few ways for me to get a hold of you and know whether or not you're coming. The important date for this class, really it's not dates, is your final. Oh, that's supposed to say final exam, sorry. It's on June, let's see, no, it's not June 19th. Or it's not Tuesday, it's Friday, June 19th. And the way the exams are going to work, there's going to be a window of opportunity for you to take the exam. The dates are all set in the schedule, and I'll show you that because we're going to get to that in a second. But the dates are all set in the schedule, and so you'll be able to know what day you need to set times aside for. I did something funny with some of the dates, and so I'm going to have to talk you through those. There's going to be 5 multiple choice exams. It's 4 exams and a comprehensive final. But every exam in chemistry, because of the way chemistry is structured, you're always learning something new to add on to something else. So in a sense, every exam has some cumulative nature to it. So you can't just study to remember it for the short term. You have to study to remember it for 4 weeks. Okay, so what I always tell people is that the one of the really nice things about this 4 week structure is it's very hard to really forget stuff in 4 weeks unless you really work hard at it. But unlike a regular semester, at the end of 18 weeks, it's very easy to have forgotten what's happened in the first 8 weeks, for example. The grading scale. Oh, and then having said that, grading, and I'll show you the grading scale and all this stuff in a second. Um, I have actually a better success rate in the summer in a 4 week face-to-face class than I do in a regular semester, simply because people can't forget stuff. People who take it and fail it come and take it in the summer and they can do fine. It's just because they're not taking other classes. They're still working. Many of them are still working. It's just such a short period of time. It's very difficult not to remember stuff. Okay, so this is the grading breakdown. Oh, the grading scale is the standard scale. And you can see it there. Homework's 10%. Labs and worksheets are 25%. Exams are 50%. And the final exam is 15%. So having said that, there's a couple of criteria that you have to meet in order to pass the class. You have to successfully complete experiment 11B. That's the last experiment of the semester, and your lab average has to be better than 70%. And to do that, basically, you just have to turn them all in and do your calculations. There's much of it as you can, to be honest with you. And then the exam averages have to be 60% or better. So basically, you have to get a D or better in the exams and 70% and better in the labs. And then if your average puts you above 70%, you will pass the class. Now, homework is due following the completion of the lecture on the material. And we basically do a chapter a day, okay? So, because it's the 4 week session. Lab, it's all going to be electronic. There'll be links, and I'll show you some of those links in a second. You'll click on those. Headphone size. You'll click on those, and then you'll download the experiment file, view the video, fill out the experiment data sheets, and complete the calculations in the pre-lab, the experiment, and the post-lab assignment. Now, having said that, there's also, in addition, I've usually split the file into two. There's the introduction, which has all the description of how you do the calculations. And then there's the report. And the report has the pre-lab, the experiment, and the post-lab assignment in it. And then when you finish it, you can just re-upload the same file. Save it, and then re-upload the same file to Canvas. In some ways, I prefer that you handwrite into the forms and upload those because it's actually almost easier for me to grade those than it is the typed work, to be honest. Late work. Okay, so I allow you to turn things in for the week through Sunday. So we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in this first week, and then all that can be turned in by Sunday. That's the window of availability, but they're all due the next day. So what happens is you'll take and you'll do your assignment and you'll turn it in, and let's say you turn it in one day late. So on Wednesday, the first homework assignment's due. If you turn it in on Thursday, it'll be worth 96%. It's an automatic deduction, okay? So, but you have to have it done by Sunday because then we start over with the next week and then you're going to have more assignments. And so I really want you to sort of clear out as much of that as you can by Sunday night at midnight. So I give you the whole weekend to sort of get it done, and then we start all over the following week. The worst deduction you'll get is for the Monday assignment. If you don't complete it by Sunday, you'll have an 80% instead of a 100%. So try to keep that in mind. You can manage your time. I'll trust you that you can do that. A couple of tips for studying chemistry in the 4 week session. Just study it every day. I don't know what else to tell you. And stay on top of your homework and check in every day to see what kind of assignments are up because you may like forget something, right? Now, I'm going to go all the way back up to here. See this little button up here that says jump to today? I'm going to jump to today. All it did was take me to the bottom of the syllabus. I wish they would split this up a different way, but they don't. So that's it. So here's the class as a whole. There's homework 1 and 2 is due on Wednesday. Worksheet 1, which I actually haven't put together yet, that's due on Wednesday as well. Homework 1 and 2 are posted, and I'll show you that in a second. And then it just goes on 3 and 4. So these titles are really chapter numbers. And then later down in the semester, I actually start calling it, for example, let's see, this one's homework 12 because homework 12 turns out to be chapter 11, and homework 11 turns out to be chapter 15. We skip around in the book a little bit towards the middle. But you can keep track of it just by tracking the days. Now let's look at the first exam. You'll notice this first exam. Let me click on it. I don't know if I can see it here. Yeah, it's locked. So as a student view, let me just tell you about it. Let me go back. Exam 1 is available on Friday, but it's not due. It says due at 11:59, but this is actually the following day. It's on Saturday. And the reason I did that is I know in this first week of scheduling, it's going to be, first maybe 2 weeks actually, it's scheduling. It's going to be hard to adjust your work schedules and stuff. So I'm giving you actually a little bit over a 24-hour period, I think. Yeah, a little over a 24-hour period to sort of get it turned in. But when you start it, you get about an hour and 15 minutes. So be sure that you can finish it by midnight on Saturday so that you can get full credit. Okay. The experiments, experiment 3, for example. Unfortunately, if I click on this one, you'll see it's just this blank thing and it has a submit assignment. I haven't built the content for this yet. So I actually have to go in this week and make a recording of the experiment. I did all the ones for the second half of last semester. I just don't have these ones for this semester. I'm going to do the same with the lectures. I'll be recording lecture content and uploading it as we go. Okay? All right, so let's go back to the home here. This is how we can get back to here. That was the syllabus. Here's your first assignment I talked about. Oh, now we can do the welcome, right? This is the welcome page. And that takes you to this welcome module. So this is the modules for the class. And so I've laid them out. There's actually 4 modules, one essentially for every week. So there's module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4. And we'll lecture through these modules. If you sort of get lost in all the scheduling stuff in the actual syllabus page, then you can come here and find the assignment. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out for you was that the homework problems are all listed in these files below. There's the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th edition files. And then this is the 4th edition problems for the first exam. So this is all the chapter problems for chapters 1 through 4 that will be on the first exam, which is, again, available on Friday, and you'll have to finish it by Saturday midnight. So let's just take a look at 4th edition odd problems, just so I can give you the brief introduction here. I tried opening the page, but apparently it didn't want to open. But you can see here, here's chapter 1. So chapter 1 is not much of a chapter. There's 2 problems in there. And then chapter 2, it says here, scientific notation, significant figures, and I'll be posting a little lecture on that. And then unit conversions, I'll be posting a little lecture on that as well. But you'll notice there's quite a few problems. This is chapter 2 together, okay? The problems are listed by topic so that it was easier to split it up because the book edition changes sometimes shuffle material between chapters. And so chapter 3, which will be due on Thursday, is actually 4 sections. It's actually probably fewer problems because there's hardly any in this one. But yeah, these are a bunch of different theories and calculations and stuff that are in here. And then chapter 4 is just this one line, atoms, elements, and ions, that was all grouped together. And chapter 5 will be like this. And then chapter 6, see this down here? This actually goes with chapter 5 in the current edition. So that's one of the things. They just took that and moved it. So when you do the chapter 5 homework, try to do this whole thing, including these little bits out of chapter 6 if you have the 4th edition of the book. Okay? And then there's chapter 6, which will be very short. It's a couple of difficult calculations. And then 5, and then there's some extra questions that you can answer along here, along with chapter 5 questions, because there weren't enough good problems. And again, 7, 8, 9. And then right in here, actually, we're going to do chapter 15. And so you'll have to skip down here, and the chapter 15 problems are right here. Okay, and then after that we go back in order. So that's kind of what every one of those files looks like. So you'll be able to find that again. Oh, there, it finally loaded. If you go back to home, I guess I could have done the back page. And we go to welcome, and you go to one of these files. That's where you're going to find the homework problems. Here are the experiments that we're actually doing in the first week. And here are the experiments we're doing in the second week. This nomenclature worksheet is actually due on Monday, but I'll be lecturing it on Thursday. Okay, so let me pull up one other view for you. The other view I want to make sure you can see is this course calendar. And if you go to the course calendar, it lists all the assignments for you day by day. So it's a real nice view. And you'll see that this nomenclature, there's actually 2 worksheets in this assignment that you'll download, you'll complete, and re-upload to this assignment. So I'm back at the home page. I want to show you one thing about homework 1 and 2. There's a lot of stuff in here. Again, I link to all the problems here, and these are the questions over here, and a little video on how you, like if you're going to be doing homework on paper, which I'm assuming most of you are doing, then a little bit of instruction on how to upload the file. And I also show you how to use Word to create a PDF, because I only accept PDF files in the upload. And there's a little homework how-to, how I want you to do the homework up here. So when you click on that first assignment, make sure you look at these different videos that are embedded in this first assignment. I'll try to remember to put them in all the assignments, but that's how you'll know what to do for each type of homework problem. So that about does it for the syllabus introduction. So if you have any questions, again, my cell phone number is in the syllabus. Or you can contact me by email through the Canvas email system. That's probably the best way. Try not to send me stuff to my school account, because that actually is a separate email than my Canvas account, and so that always gets filled with other junk, and I often miss student emails that way.